Sometimes all you need is a quick and easy craft project, and dare I say so myself, looks really good too. And for me, these ceramic keepsakes tick all those boxes. Great for a personalised gift, for a home decoration, or maybe a little gift tag on a posh bag. What do you think? I'm Rachel from I Printed That, and you're watching the virtual village haul this morning, where I'm going to show you exactly how to make them. So if you've got all of the equipment and materials you need, which are listed in the video caption above, then I will pop you down and we'll get started. So you will need your air dry clay. These are simply made from air dry clay. This comes in lots of different colours, so terracotta, black or white. I'm going to be using the white, but you can use any of the colours that you want. I've got some left from last week, so if you joined me last week, then we were making flower frogs or stem holders, vase toppers. So you might want to go back and find that on the virtual village haul if you want some other ideas of how to use air dry clay. But today our little ceramic keepsakes are made from just a small bit of air dry clay. So take your air dry clay from the block, just cut it with a sharp knife, and you just want to get it nice and pliable. Make sure it's nice and smooth. And I've got a board here. This is just a sheet of acrylic. You can use anything as long as it's flat and smooth. And then I've got my rolling pin. And I just want to roll that out to just maybe a couple of millimetres thick. So I'm going to turn it as I roll. So it doesn't get stuck to the surface. And then at this point you can either leave it very smooth or you can add a little bit of texture if you like. I quite like adding a bit of texture. This is totally your own preference. So I've just got a piece of fabric here that's quite thick and it's got a really nice weave on it. So what I'll do, I'll put that over the top, and then just my final roll, just carefully roll that, and you'll end up with the imprint of the fabric. So it just gives a little bit of interest to your ceramic keepsake. Then we're going to take our template. So I'm going to go with a cloud template, cloud shape, but really you can use any shape you want. You could cut this out, or if you've got any biscuit cutters or cookie cutters, then they'd be great for this as well. I lay that on top, and then just using a sharp knife, go round. Making sure you go right the way through to the board on the other side. Now if you're using a biscuit cutter, then you're probably already ahead of me. So just hold on and I'll be with you soon. Turn my board. Ooh. There we go. So if you're just joining us this morning, we're making these ceramic keepsakes. I've cut my template out on cardboard, placed it onto my rolled out clay, air dry clay, and now I'm just cut it out, and I can remove this clay. I can make more. If you're making lots, then just carry on using the clay until it's all finished. Any excess bits can be rolled up, just like pastry, rolled up and then just rolled out, rolled into your hands and then rolled out again using the rolling pin. If you're finding the clay's getting a little bit dry, then just give it a quick spritz with water, mould it in your hands and then roll it out again. So carefully just lift it from the surface. Now you've noticed we've got some sort of jagged edges from the knife. Now I've just got a little bit of water here. So if you want to leave those like that, you can, but if you just want to smooth them off, just wet your finger with the water and then just smooth those edges. Don't forget, if you haven't got time to make this today, I mean, they don't take long at all, but if you wanted to save this for a little crafty afternoon, then you can always save this video. So if you go to the 3 circles, I think it will be in the top right hand corner, or maybe the bottom right hand corner, 3 circles, click on that, and then you can save the video to watch later. Or if you want to share this to maybe a craft group you're with, or any friends that you think would benefit from this, maybe friends who do craft fairs. These are great little crowd pleasers at craft fairs. So just let me towel my hands. These are great crowd pleasers at craft fairs. So if you've got any friends that do that sort of thing, then please feel free to share it with them. It's all about helping one another, isn't it? Okay, so now I can print my word. So I'm going to go for the word dream. You can go for whatever word you want. Make it inspirational, maybe personalize it to your friend or your family. And I do this using just these tiny little alphabet stamps. Here we go. So normally used with stamp making or with card making, just with an ink pad, but they also stamp really well into clay, and they come in various different fonts. They only, I think this was about a couple of pounds each, so they're really cheap and they last and last. So I've picked out my word, dream. So make sure I get them in the right order. And the right way up. The great thing is, if you do make a mistake, then you know all you need to do is just roll it back up into a ball and start again. There we are. So I don't know how well you can see that, but even that's quite pronounced, so you can definitely read what it says. But in a minute we're going to make it even better. But before I do that, if I want to add a bit of string, now is the time to put your hole in. Don't wait for it to dry. So I'm just going to use the end of my paintbrush. Just make the hole somewhere in the middle, and then just make sure you lift it up so that that hole goes right the way through. And if you want to just tidy up the back, then you can. Just use your knife to take off the excess clay. Like so, just being very careful that you don't flatten down the front. And then again, just a bit of water, and that will just smooth all that off. And there we go. So that's now ready to dry. So just double check the manufacturer's instructions on how long you need to take that to dry. It does depend on how warm your house is at this time of the year. So for me, it normally sort of takes about 2 to 3 days. Don't rush, try not to rush the drying time. And then once it's dry, you can then add your gold leaf. So I was thinking, as I was setting up today, I think you don't actually have to use gold leaf for this. If you wanted to, you could always just paint it in. But I'm going to use gold leaf. So I've got the recommended glue that goes with it. Now, if you read the manufacturer's instructions on the glue, it does say if the surface is porous, then you need to sort of make the surface waterproof. So, for example, like varnish with varnish, that sort of thing. But because we're using so little, I've done a few tests, and you don't actually need to varnish this, which means more drying time. So you can just go straight in with the glue and then put the gold leaf on top. Again, normally you will have to leave the glue for a little while to dry, but this works just fine because we're using so little. So I've got a very thin brush, and on my dried, this is one that I did a few days ago, my dried ceramic keepsake. I'm just going to very carefully put the glue into the imprint. I'm just going to grab another brush. And take off a tiny bit of gold leaf. And my hand always shakes when I use gold leaf. And then I'm just going to use the brush just to put the gold leaf. Don't worry if it goes over the sides because the glue isn't there, so don't worry, it won't stick. But I'm just using the brush with the gold leaf to get into the imprints. Now, whether you're watching live today or you're watching on the catch up, it'd be lovely to hear from you. So let me know where you're watching from. And also, if you're planning on doing this, has it sparked any creative ideas for you? What words would you use? What shapes would you use? I would love to know. My R just needs a little bit more. And I'm just going to go in with a soft cloth just to finish that off. And then once that's dry, I can just use a brush. This might not work so well because it's not quite dry at the moment. And just go back in with a brush and take off anything that hasn't stuck. So you might just want to let it dry sort of for about 10-15 minutes or so before you do this. But I should just be able to get something just to be able to show you hopefully how it looks. No, it's not quite going. I think I do need to leave that to dry a little bit longer. But thankfully, I have one here that I made earlier. So you can see that the gold leaf fills the imprints and really makes those words that you're going to use pop. Then, once you've done all that, you just need your piece of thread or a nice ribbon or cord in a complementary or a contrasting colour. I'll do it on this one so you can see the finished article. So thread your cord through, put the ends through the loop and then pull. And there you have your ceramic keepsake ready to give or use as decoration. So I did tell you that it was going to be a quick and easy one this morning. So I really hope that has given you an idea if you can use some air dry clay, either that you've got already in the cupboards, or you can pick them up quite cheaply from craft shops or from the internet. A kilo will cost you about £4 to £5. So it's not a bad investment at all. And as you can see, I've barely used any of this. That's from a project we did last week and also this week's project. So you can just keep using it to make lots and lots of these, but don't use all of it up, because I'll be back in a couple of weeks where I'll be showing you a few more craft projects that you can do with your air dry clay. So thank you so much for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed that, and I will see you on the Virtual Village Hall again soon. Take care. Bye.